So now let's take a look at how to avoid those cravings for the wrong things. Did you know that aromatherapy and essential oils can help you with this? Everyone knows that good nutrition and physical activity are vital steps towards losing weight and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. What is often overlooked are the psychological and some of the physiological components and factors in weight loss to have success. Anyone who's tried to shed a few pounds knows that there's that battle with the bulge that can be more in the mind than down here. Some of the factors you want to include in your consideration of which oils to use would be the genetic makeup. Maybe if you inherited your mother's muffin top like I did, or if it's even maybe menopause, some of the hormones and things might be going on in your brain, the chemistry in your brain, which influences your hormones, your emotions, and some of your environmental things. Modern research is now catching up with essential oils' curative and mood-enhancing medicinal benefits, which is proving to be quite promising for weight loss. You see, aromatherapy is just what the term sounds like, aromatherapy. In fact, it's just amazing that just smelling a rose or some fresh herb is capable of stimulating parts of the brain, which in turn has an impact on us physically, emotionally, and mentally. So you see, your nose is really wired differently than your other senses of the body, and it actually can detect over 1 trillion odors and olfactory glands that are capable of immediately interacting with our amygdala and our hippocampus in our brain, where the seat of emotions and memory rest. So when you inhale a fragrance, like I have one here, this scent communicates to the brain receptors, and that it can actually lower your blood pressure, lower your heart rate, stress levels, attention span, learning, pleasure, and even motivation. Isn't that really amazing? So if you're struggling with weight loss, or weight gain, I should say, here's some ways that this might help you. Essential oils can help you with your lack of motivation. Some of these are very stimulating. They can help you, give you energy. Essential oils might even help with your metabolism. If it's slow and you need to speed it up, essential oils have that ability. If you crave sweets or have low energy, maybe even poor digestion, these are some of the ways that essential oils can be that missing piece to your diet program and can help you in reaching your ideal weight. Recent studies have shown that the relationship between weight loss and the sense of smell, and they've discovered that aromatherapy for weight loss can do two things. It can help manage your cravings and feelings of hunger, and it can also add and address some of those contributing factors as in your imbalance of hormones that might be causing you to have stress, anxiety, and depression. Research is now showing that the appetite and the sense of smell are closely connected. In fact, studies have shown that our sense of smell triggers feelings of fullness before our stomach even realizes it. So that's one way aromatherapy can maybe help you with your weight loss. So if you're asking, can it help? Yes, in short, it can. But it's not the magic bullet. It's not the instant weight loss cure. There's really no such thing. But aromatherapy can be a valuable part of a healthy, sensible weight loss program. So let's take a look now at how we can use aromatherapy for weight loss. As you just saw me do, just taking the bottle and inhaling it, the molecules are small enough to go directly into the brain, stimulate the pineal and the pituitary glands, and go to the hypothalamus, where your center of feelings, also that fullness and that hunger craving, and can actually trigger those receptor sites and cause you to have that feeling of fullness. And that's really good news, because this happens much faster than our brain gets that signal from the stomach, because you're now saying, I'm full. The trick to using these oils is really just to curb your cravings, suppress your appetite, inhaling them, just carrying them with you. There's many ways you can do that. Now, studies have revealed that the best way is to use them for at least 5 minutes. If you use them less than that, then it might not be beneficial. It might actually cause you to become hungry. Okay, let's take a look now at those 6 essential oils that are great for weight loss. The #1 oil that most people recommend is grapefruit essential oil. And I love this one. It's pink grapefruit, and it has a wonderful scent. It's a sweet, crisp, uplifting aroma. It's actually able to curb cravings. It boosts your metabolism. It increases energy, gives you endurance, and it actually helps to reduce that fat bulge around the waistline that accumulates. Now, there's a special chemical component in grapefruit, and it's called nootkatone. This is a natural chemical compound that stimulates the enzyme in your brain that actually controls the body's energy levels and your metabolism rate. And so this is actually a chemical reaction that's going on in the tissues of the brain, stimulating the liver, the skeletal system, and muscle. And so there's been a lot of research on this and how this results in increasing your endurance, giving you the ability to lose weight, reduce your weight gain, and decrease body fat, which is a pretty amazing thing. I mean, I know most people enjoy having a grapefruit at home. This is a great way to get it as well. They suggest that maybe just in having the grapefruit oil 3 times a week for 15-minute intervals, just inhaling it. I use special things like jewelry, for instance, to wear it around my neck. So I would actually just place a few drops of grapefruit on here, wear it during the day, and I can just pick it up and just smell it as I need to. One of the other chemical constituents of grapefruit is the limonene. This is also present in the lime, the lemon fruits, and so I know a lot of people like to have lemon in their drinks. I use this every single day because this also helps to reduce body fat, helps to break down the fat in tissues, and helps dissolve it. So lemon essential oil is cold pressed from the peel. So I know a lot of people ask, well, what's the difference between lemon juice versus lemon oil? And so it is because the juice comes from the pulp, the essential oil comes from the rind, okay? And they might even use sometimes the peels to use it. So it's a real nice zesty scent. I think I have one here. I like to smell them while I talk about them because it helps me to remember. Oh, I love it. It's so sweet. It almost smells like candy. And what this one does, this actually suppresses the weight gain. It helps to increase your energy. This lifts up your mood. It relieves pain. And lemon is just a wonderful oil. So there is fat dissolving properties in this oil because of the limonene chemical components. Now, most essential oils have hundreds and hundreds of essential chemical components or constituents in them, but they've done a lot of research and study between grapefruit and the lemon and have found that it's been used for a number of things they're using in medical research. It does enhance the mood, lifts you up. I like to diffuse them in my home. If you have a diffuser, now this is a cool mist nebulizer. So actually what I would do with this, I mean, it's electric, so I plug it in, has a little dial so you can, decide what speed you want to run it at. I use the oil right directly in it. And so I'll just add several drops into this and have it just dispersed throughout the home. It kills bacteria, viruses. Most of these oils are antibacterial, antiviral. And so this is something that you can have diffusing through your home, clean the air, helps to lift up everyone's mood, eliminates all those negative feelings and things like that. And so what's beautiful about these particular oils that I've already mentioned here is that they help to release that stress and anxiety that you might be carrying, the neurotransmitter that's responsible for that fight or flight mechanism going on in your body. It helps to, with the energy, as far as helps to get more oxygen to the brain for better function, right? It also helps to lower your blood pressure and the blood flow. So this will help your muscles work faster and better when you're exercising. I've used it for aches and pains, for strained muscles. It just helps to have it with you. If you exercise or do workouts, you could take the lemon oil with you, maybe sprinkle a little bit on your towel that you use afterwards. But it's great for pain relief, and so that's something that I recommend. Another one of my favorites, and this is one I have around the house, and everybody in the family has their own personal bottle, is peppermint essential oil. This one is that fresh, minty, it's intense, it's very sharp, and that's because of the menthol in it. But it also has a very calming and a cooling effect. It also will increase your energy, help with mental alertness. It elevates your mood. It's also another one that I like to diffuse in the home, but it is a little bit strong. It helps with digestion, and it reduces your appetite. Now, for the most part, essential oils are very concentrated, so you don't want to use a lot of them. This one is one of those oils. This one is very, very strong. It contains 70% menthol, so it's been used medicinally for centuries for indigestion, acid reflux, things like that. But I do want to recommend that you only use just a drop or two at one time. You don't want to use a lot. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was doing a radio interview, and a gentleman had called in. He had heard me speak about the oils. He got a hold of some peppermint, not knowing how to use them. He had acid reflux, and so he said, he told me later after the fact that he had used it. And I said, well, how did you take it? You know, and he said he got a teaspoon out and he poured the entire contents of the bottle on a spoon and took it. I thought, oh my gosh. And he lived to tell about it. You should not take that much. 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to 80 cups of tea, 80 cups of peppermint tea. So it is very, very powerful. You do not need much. This is one of those cases where less is more, okay? You can use it as a muscle relaxer, but just so you know, let me finish my story about the gentleman. He lived to tell about it. He says, oh, and by the way, I don't have acid reflux anymore. So that's a good story, but I would definitely don't take it. Treat it like medicine, okay? Because this is very, very powerful. You keep them in your medicine cabinet, keep it away from children. You want to be careful when you're using them. It only takes just a very little. And for most cases, I don't ingest my oils, and I only use them as necessary. You know, I treat it like a medicine. I don't take them every day. It's not necessary unless I'm using them for a specific condition. But peppermint is one that we do have in our medicine cabinet. It eases muscles. It helps with the stomach. It reduces bloating. It increases and improves the flow of bile, which allows that food to pass through if you have some issues going on with that. Peppermint oil is also a natural appetite suppressant. There was a study done on the effects of peppermint scent and appetite control and calorie intake, and they found that the people that smelled or inhaled the peppermint oil every 2 hours reported a lower hunger level and consumed significantly less. And I just want to mention that this is pretty significant because not only did they just go by what the people said, but they also measured their cortisol by taking saliva swab test. And they were able to determine and saw that there was a significantly lower amount of the cortisol in their mouth. So it was able to see that it was really affecting their bodies and lowering their intake. And so we know that cinnamon essential oil is another one of my favorites. This one's derived from the inner bark and leaves of the cinnamon tree, and it has a real warm, sweet fragrance. This is another one of my favorites to use in a diffuser at home. It regulates blood sugar levels. It helps with the insulin. It reduces inflammation. This is a very, very powerful oil. And because of insulin is the hormone responsible for the metabolizing carbohydrates and fats, This is something that is very, very good to use in helping with your converting, the sugar to energy, and you know how the body stores it as fat. So when cells in the body stop responding to insulin, this is a condition known as insulin resistance, the body begins to store the fat instead of burning it. This is what happens when we all go through menopause and midlife. So this results in weight gain, and it becomes very difficult to lose weight. And so now we are finding that those who have a high blood sugar level or their insulin levels are not right, this is what leads as a precursor to type 2 diabetes. And so cinnamon is another one that you might want to introduce and use if you feel like this is something that you're experiencing, that you need a little bit of a boost and kick to get your body in sync and help you lose weight. So we are discovering, because of our diet and lifestyle, that up to 25% of Americans are affected by this. And there is a number of disorders that are coming along following after it, with the glucose tolerance, the obesity we're seeing in people, the insulin resistance, the high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high blood cholesterol. And these are all the things that, we need to be watching and be careful of. So cinnamon essential oil is one that will help to inhibit the production of those molecules. And this can be a very important factor in preventing weight gain in the first place. I wish I had thought of this a year ago when I began to go through my menopause and began to gain weight and couldn't lose it. So we need to not only incorporate physical activity, diet change, but we also incorporate these into our lifestyle. And I think this is probably one of the easiest ways to do that. Now, another oil that I want to mention to you is bergamot. This one has the scent of, it's almost like a complex blend of orange and lemon. It's sweet, tangy, it's almost got a spice to it. This is another one that boosts that mood, it helps with energy. And I love it because it's being used in hospitals all over for anxiety, depression. Maybe if you suffer from emotional eating, I think we probably all do, where we might be temporarily uncomfortable and we're seeking relief, and so we run to the kitchen to get something to soothe their emotions. This is the oil to reach for. This one is that guilt-free. You don't have to feel bad after using this oil. It helps to break that cycle. And so there's been a lot of studies about this. Again, use it about 15 minutes a day. This one, they reported positive results with your emotions, increased energy. And then this was also another one of those oils that I mentioned earlier about the SWAV test that they did, and found that it did actually change their cortisol levels and insulin level, and being able to know that there was a measurable result that was released with the stress response. And so those that have been including these and maybe using them in a diffuser or inhaler or maybe a necklace, they're very beneficial. One more oil I want to mention is the fennel essential oil. Now this one has a sweet aroma. It's distilled from seeds, and it's almost like a licorice. Again, they sort of remind me of candy. It improves your digestion. It helps suppress the appetite, helps reduce weight, as well as get you more sleep at night. As you know, that's a big cause for weight gain when you don't get enough rest. And so this one is responsible for helping with the hormone melatonin, to get that rhythm back in your brain so that you can have those proper sleep cycles and get more rest. And so melatonin is very beneficial for us in weight gain. We want to get rid of that bulge around our waistlines, get rid of that fat that's been stored up in our mid-body here. Now, in the Middle Ages, fennel seeds were used and eaten as part of their fast. That was helped suppress their diet, as well as I noticed when I was visiting Turkey, they actually had some seeds on the table to eat afterwards. But all of these have been tested and researched and studied and performed on rats. They've noticed that, there was an 8-week study. The rats inhaled the fennel twice a day now for 10 minutes, and that the rats actually reduced their calorie intake and weren't going for more food. And so these are things that you can find on the internet. You can get your own essential oils together and try some of these. I mean, the website's just brimming with recommendations from people using these oils, and so you definitely want to include them in your diet. There's a whole list of other essential oils that are beneficial: tangerine cloves, spearmint, ginger root, great for the stomach, sandalwood, lemongrass, rosemary, orange, patchouli. I've got many others here that I enjoy. And we know that cypress is another one of my favorites. This one means to be slender in Hebrew, to make slender. So that's a good positive word, isn't it? Definitely want to include that one.